So we back at it again. It's the original Lone Wolf coming at you real quick with another brief example of that real spill. We back on the IRS today, which means we in Title 26. So right now we're in 26. Let me go all the way back to the top. We're back in definitions under Title 26, 26 USC 7701. Right, those are the definitions. The Section 7701. Those are the definitions. Okay, so we're going to go down to A26. And I might have did this already. I'm going to touch on this and then we're going to move on to something else. It tells you that the term trade or business includes performance of the functions of a public office. So if you own a barbershop or a beauty salon or a fucking nail salon or a soul food restaurant or, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, it has nothing to do with the public office, then you're not supposed to be paying business tax. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be paying a business tax. Okay? So I just wanted to put that out there. That's the way it works. And you're looking at it on screen, big as shit. Okay, damn. Shit. Anyway, you're looking at it on screen, big as shit. It tell you trade or business, the term trade or business, right? Because you may say, oh, I own my own business, right? Which, and you probably do. I ain't saying you don't. I'm just saying. When they come at you under that specific term of a trade or a business, right? Because like a trade would be a barber, right? Here it is. He don't own the shop he work in, but he's still self-employed, right? You know, being a barber is a trade. Being a hairstylist is a trade. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't necessarily have to own the shop that you're doing hair in, ladies. And some of you all understand that. You could be a woman who rent a booth in a shop, right? To a person who actually owns the shop, who actually owns the business, right? So you will fall under trade, okay? But either way, it wouldn't matter because unless you're doing hair for the president, you feel me? Or you doing Nancy Pelosi's hair or something, which I don't understand why anybody would want to do her hair or Maxine Waters. But needless to say, then that would be different. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you're not dealing with the federal government, right? Because that's what a public office is. It's usually going to have something to do with officials. Whether if it's on, in this case, it's going to be on the federal level because Title 26 is under the feds, right? So again, you guys need to understand this kind of shit because you don't really supposed to be paying taxes. So now I want to cover something else real quick too, because if I'm not mistaken, I think I went into that. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go under, hold on. We're going to go into Title 26. 26 CFR. Because I don't think I've done any of those yet. 26 CFR 1.871. And then we're going to go down to subsection 1A, B4, and a couple of other ones. So, section 1A tells you the classes of citizens. No, I'm sorry. Should I do 1A? Yeah, I guess we could. It say for classes of aliens, for purposes of income taxes, an alien individual are divided generally into two classes, namely resident aliens and non-resident aliens. Keep in mind, this shit is about status. It has nothing to do with nationality. Like saying I'm indigenous, I'm an indigenous American. That's nationality. That's lineage. That's race. Okay? Or what we know of today is that, because, race relations and all that shit is bullshit. But what we know of today as race, like what's your race and all of that, that's what is the opposite of what we're looking at here. Resident alien, not resident alien. That shit is a status. It's like being a king. You know what I'm saying? It's a status. Or like being class president, some shit like that. It's a status. It has nothing to do with your lineage. That's something else that people need to understand. It say resident aliens are in generally taxable the same as citizens of the United States. Okay? That is, a resident alien is taxable of income derived from all sources, including sources without the United States, right? Non-resident alien individuals are taxable only on certain incomes from sources within in the United States. This is the reason why it's so important for you to tell them you're not a United States citizen and you're not a United States resident. Remember we went through that in the last 2 videos that I made about taxes? That's why it's very important to tell them that. Now, don't misunderstand me. For people like this, it does not hurt to let them know that you're an indigenous American and that this is being done on your land and you're not supposed to be taxing the indigenous people of the land, because that's the law. You ain't supposed to be doing it. You can't do that shit. How the fuck you gonna be a foreigner and come somewhere and set up shop somewhere on a foreign land and you trying to tax the indigenous people of that land? You can't do that shit. That's fucking insane, right? Now, when I sent in my revocation of election, I didn't mention that I was an indigenous American because I'm going to save that for a rebuttal. Okay, in the event that they go to reply to me and try to shut down my letter and ignore what it is that I sent to them, then I'll come back with the, well, you do know I'm indigenous to this land. You do know you motherfuckers ain't supposed to be doing that. You do realize that you all supposed to be paying us a tax. So you don't never put all your eggs in one basket. You feel me? Because I've already sent Charles Riddick, which we'll get to him in a few minutes, who's the IRS commissioner, the head honcho out there at 1111 Constitution Avenue, right? I already sent him my letter. Matter of fact, I just got my green card back from the post office, the return receipt, little green card they give you and shit. I just got that back, letting me know what day it was delivered. Okay. But anyway, let's get back on track. We'll get back to Charles Riddick in a second. It says, I'm going to read this one more time from the top. It say classes of aliens, right? And that's one of the things that they use to throw you off, because we all know what an alien is. Aliens are typically foreign, right? And in this particular situation, it's foreign still, right? But you got to understand there's 2 different types of foreign. You have 2 different types of aliens. You have aliens who come from another country who did not derive from here, like the motherfuckers in Congress, in the House and the Senate. They people did not originally derive from here. Joe Biden is a fucking alien. Donald Trump is an alien. This is the reason why I'm trying to tell motherfuckers keep Donald Trump's name out their fucking mouth. You're trying to put your fucking effort and faith into a fucking descendant of an alien. Because an alien is an immigrant, right? But there's also a different type of alien. In this particular situation with the taxes or the IRS, it's foreign also, right? But it's a different type of foreign. When you're an alien, when it comes down to the taxes, that means you're not a part of their club. See what I'm saying? These are the reasons for why people don't understand this shit. Because the minute they see alien, they like, nah, ain't no fucking alien. I was born in the United States, which you weren't. Or they'll say, I was born in this country, which is true, but they not talking about the goddamn country. See what I'm saying? So let's take it from the top. Classes of aliens. For purposes of income tax, alien individuals, and the definition of an individual can be a person, a corporation, or whatever. But if you didn't know that, we're going to go to it. Oh, shit. They don't even give you the what's name on here. Okay, we'll have to come back to that. Because the definition of person could be an individual, a corporation, and, shit like that. But anyway, it say individuals are divided generally into 2 classes, namely resident alien. And notice it say 2 classes. That's status. Okay? The term classes is synonymous with status when you're using it the way they're using it. This is the reason for why it's so important to not just read this shit, but you got to understand what they're reading, because they're very misleading. You see what I'm saying? And that interferes with your comprehension of what you're reading, because the shit is misleading. You got to understand you got some punk ass, Zionist ass lawyers who wrote this shit. And they didn't write it for your benefit. They wrote it for theirs. That's why it's in code. That's why it's in legalese. It's generally are divided into 2 classes, namely resident aliens and non-resident aliens. Resident aliens are generally taxable the same as citizens of the United States. That is, a resident alien is taxable on income derived from all sources. So it don't matter where you're getting your cheese from. We need some of that. It's including sources without the United States. That means everything, whether if you are within the United States or if you're not within the United States, we taxing your motherfucking ass. One of the things that would apply to is the people who come to this country from fucking Ukraine or some shit. Something like that would apply to them. Okay? It's non-resident alien individuals are taxable only on certain income from sources within the United States. So that means if you're not within the United States, the District of Columbia, Guam, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, America, Samoa, if you're not within that shit, you are not to be taxed at all. And this goes for pale people too. This is the reason for why a lot of times you'll hear people say it's not about race, because in certain factions it's not, right? Because if pale people don't know this, they'll come take their house for not paying taxes too. They'll garnish their motherfucking check for income taxes too. Okay, you guys understand that you got pale people who are not within the United States either, but because they think, because the pale man is like the brown man, he think that they're talking about the country when they're actually talking about the corporation. He goes along with it and voluntarily gives him his money. And don't tell me it's not voluntary, because we already looked at the Treasury Department where they tell you that they use your money as a gift or bequest. Gifts are voluntary, period. This is the reason for why you can go on YouTube and pull up a video on C-SPAN of a former IRS commissioner, not the Charles Riddick guy, but a guy that was the commissioner before him. He told you out his own mouth in English, plain as day, that paying taxes is voluntary. Well, guess what? The IRS tell you that, and so does the Treasury Department. Okay, so a non-resident alien is only taxable on certain incomes from sources within the United States, and on income described in section 864, subsection C4, right? And basically what that is talking about is a business. It's talking about dividends and residuals that have something to do with the feds. But you can go look it up for yourself if you think it's bullshit. It's described by 864, subsection C4, from sources without the United States, which is effectively connected for the taxable year with the conduct of trade or business. See what I'm saying? Now, we just read what the definition of a trade or business was. Is a motherfucker who hold a public office in the United States. However, non-resident alien individuals may elect under section 6013, subsection G or H, to be treated as U.S. resident for the purposes of determining income tax liability under chapter 1 through 24 of the IRS code. Damn. Of the code. And see, this is right here where I gotta stop and I gotta pause and I gotta go back to these hoe ass guru ass niggas that be on YouTube talking all this bullshit, charging people for information, charging people money for this, that, and the other. See, they're not telling you this. They're not telling you that in reality, what you really are is a non-resident alien. Anybody who is not within the United States is a non-resident alien. I don't give a fuck if they are a Mexican. It's just that simple. Now, we already know that being indigenous to America, you got the ace of spade if you don't happen to play with the jokers. But if you do play with the jokers, then you know we the big joker, right? We know that, right? We all understand that, or at least you should. We are the powerhouse. That's why everything is derived around us. We're the powerhouse because it's our land. But even if you are what they call a so-called Mexican or this, that, and the other, if that Mexican understand that he wasn't born in the United States because he understand what the United States mean under Title 26 of the IRC, he has that right, or she has that right, to come forward and say, I'm not within your jurisdiction, I'm not paying taxes anymore. Okay? So once again, you can, as a non-resident alien, may elect. Look up the definition of elect. I don't feel like doing that in this video. Get a Black Laws Dictionary like I told you. If you ain't got one, if you're a subscriber to my motherfucking channel and you don't have a Black Laws Dictionary on your phone, get the fuck off my channel because it's free. And I done told people that a million times. I cannot speak for the people who have an iPhone, but if you got an Android and you are a subscriber to my phone, to my channel, and you talking about you don't have a Black Laws Dictionary downloaded on your motherfucking phone, get the fuck off my channel. Unsubscribe to it because it's free. That means you have no goddamn excuse. Look up what the definition of elect mean. Okay? It say you may elect under section 6013 G or H to be treated as a U.S. resident. Guess how they trick your ass into electing to, as a non-resident alien, to elect to be in their shit? When you file a fucking 1040. The form you file at the IRS place when you're doing your taxes before April the 15th. That is a 1040 you filing. The minute you do that shit, it's ball game. Now, please don't get mad at me, people, because I did it for years. Years I filed that fucking piece of paper before I figured the fuck out. Now that I figured it out, I'm looking around like, I don't know what you're talking about. What's a 1040? Real spill. Right now, I'm telling you right now, that's how I look at it. What the fuck is a 1040? I don't know what that is. I don't feel that shit out. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. And I've been that way for quite some time now. Okay. Accordingly, any reference through what is it, 1.1-1 through 1.1388 /1 to non-resident alien individuals does not include those with respect to whom an election under 6013 G or H is in effect. Now, guess what 6013 H and G is? It makes you liable. Okay, it makes you liable. When you look at 26 USC 6013 G, G or H, and you know what? We actually need to go back to that because of some of these codes I don't have memorized. Some of them I do. Like the most important ones that you need to know, I got those memorized. But we need to go back and take a look at what 6013 G and H say. Okay, it has something to do with you being liable. We did 6013 G4A, if I'm not mistaken, and it told you that federal employees was the motherfuckers who had to pay taxes. Okay, so now let's go to B4. It's a expatriation to avoid tax for special rules applicable to determining the taxes of a non-resident alien individual who has lost U.S. citizenship with a principal purpose of avoiding certain taxes, right? So that means they know about this. You know what I'm saying? They know about this. Now, when you did we read B1? I think I skipped one. Let me see, B1. Yeah, we just read. No, wait, hold on. Yeah, we just read B1. Okay, so now let's go to 2. No. B4, B1. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Let me go to 6013 G and H and try to shed a little bit more light on that. USC 6013 A. Damn, I hate doing these. These be so doggone. These be so doggone small. 6013. Okay, we in 6013. Hold on. This is one of the ones that have one of those long chapters, sections, I mean. So when you look at joint returns, basically what they're talking about here in 6013 A is when you file jointly or separately. In a nutshell, they're telling you, and like I said, you can come behind me and read this stuff on your own. They're basically telling you can file jointly or separately. You know what I'm saying? See, like in section B, it say joint returns after filing separate returns. You know what I'm saying? It basically talks about what you can and what you cannot do when it comes down to whether or not, like, for example, you and your wife can't file separately and then try to turn around and file jointly in the same tax year. Shit like that. But I want to get to 6013 G4A. So hold on. Let me turn my phone back around. 6014 G. Okay, that's F. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That should be the next one. It said non-resident alien individual with respect to whom this subsection is in effect for the taxable year will be treated as a resident alien of the United States for purposes of Chapter 1 of all such taxable year. And see, the reason for why they do that is because if you don't come forward and let it be known, whether if you do something like send a letter to the IRS commissioner letting them know what your proper status is, if you don't do that, then you have to give a certain form to your employer, right? And I was just talking to a sister about this last night. There's a form called, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up for y'all so y'all know. You got a W-8 BEN form. All right, so let me give y'all that real spiel. This form right here is the form that you all use when you don't want to pay taxes because you're not a U.S. citizen. You're not a U.S. person. BEN stands for beneficiary, right? You know, if you're the beneficiary to something, that's good. That means, you know, something is good for you, something is due to you, somebody has to do something for you, etc. Like a beneficiary to a motherfucker who passed away and they had life insurance and shit, and they say after the funeral expenses, what's left over go to my children. The children would be the beneficiary, right? So that's what BEN stands for. If you look down here on this document, it say, do not use this form if you are an individual. You are a U.S. citizen or U.S. person, including a resident alien individual. You are a beneficial owner claiming that income is effectively connected to the conduct of trade or business within the United States. You are a beneficiary owner who is receiving compensation for personal services performed within the United States. You are a person acting as an intermediary, right? These are the fucking people who have to pay taxes. Now, due to the fact that we covered some of this shit already, looking at this form, you all should kind of understand. Okay? This is the form that you're supposed to give to your employer, right? Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell y'all the same thing I told the sister that I was talking to the other night. You know what I'm saying? Because she didn't even know about this form. Luckily for her, she had just started her new job. You know what I'm saying? And it's easier that way. For you guys that's listening to this, that's working already, you can get his form to them, but you're gonna have a problem with getting your employer to do it. And the reason for why is because you already submitted the W-4, and you submitting this form in this place is what takes you out of paying taxes. And the company don't want to do that. They don't want to do that because you got to understand the company, because these motherfuckers don't know no better. They pay a portion of your taxes. Well, for the companies who don't know no better, because some companies do know better. That's the reason why Donald Trump never showed his tax return. But for the companies that don't know no better, they pay a portion of your taxes and you're supposed to pay whatever they set you up to pay for, right? If you submit this form after you give them a W-4, then that means they got to pay it all. And they don't want to do that, right? Now, like I explained to the sister, you can sue them. You can start an administrative process by sending letters with the law in it under Title 26, letting them know why you're doing it. And letting them know that under penalty of perjury, they have to respond to you with an affidavit showing how you're wrong. Okay? And if they cannot do that, and you've reached all the appropriate people like the human resource person, the board of directors, the CEO, etc., and you've already reached these people and they're still willing to do it, they're still unwilling to accept this form, then you can sue them. And you can sue them. The question is, do you want to go through that? The question is, do you got the fucking guts to sue a company and stay on the job and clock in every day while you're suing them? Do you got the heart for that? Do you got the time for that? Do you got the patience for that? Right? Because they can't be sued. They're breaking the law. They're putting you under the 13th Amendment, which is involuntary servitude. Dig? So they can be sued. This is the reason for why they tell you under when you go to under 6013 G6, it say only one election. That's because you can elect to opt out of it. They cannot force you to stay within it. And then plus, due to the fact that the company that you work for, they accepted your social security number, they have automatically assumed the trustee role to the Sesta K Trust, because that's what your social security number is. It's an account number to the Sesta K Trust. Right? You know, the ones that with the birth certificate, people tried to cash it in for billions of dollars and they went to prison because they didn't understand that you can't cash it in for no monetary money. Like, you know what I'm saying? $60 billion. But the credit is there for you to discharge the debt, which means you wouldn't get any money in return. And because people didn't understand that, a lot of people tried to cash it in, and that's fraud, and to get billions of dollars and, you know, in paper money, and the shit is fraud. So they went to prison. Okay, but there is a such thing as a Sesta K Trust. Your fucking all capital letter name, birth certificate, and social security number is attached to a trust. It is. The motherfucking Federal Reserve Bank in St. Louis got my goddamn shit. I already looked it up. Okay, so it's true. It's real. So when they refuse to take this form after you've already been working and you gave them your social security number and they're refusing to refile this form in place of the W-4 and stop taking taxes out of your check, if they refuse to do that, that's trust fraud. You see what I'm saying? Because anybody under the law that accepts your social security number, it could be for a mortgage, it could be for a car, it could be for a credit card. Anybody who accepts your social security number, they automatically become a trustee to the Sesta K Trust. Automatically. And guess who you are? You're the beneficiary. Under the law, they have to act on your behalf. That's what a trustee does. A trustee acts in good faith and good honor on behalf of the beneficiary. So that's how you'll be able to sue them. Now, to get around all of that shit, it's easier for a person who don't have a job. And then you get hired and they're like, okay, yeah, come on, your first day of orientation, such and such and such and such, right? And orientation is the day where they have you fill out all your documents and all your other forms, right? Well, you're supposed to have this form that you're looking at on screen, printed out, filled out, ready to go when they slide you the W-4 in the orientation process. You take that fucking W-4 out of the packet that they give you and you replace it with the W-8BEN. And when the fucking people pretend like they don't know what the fuck it is and what you're supposed to do with it, you tell them you filed this in place of the W-4. So however you've been filing your W-4s, lady, you take this W-8BEN and you file it in the exact same way. Because within the instructions of this form, the IRS tell you don't send that form to them. You personally, the motherfucker that's going to get the job, you don't send that form to them. You give it to the motherfucking people who's requesting some bullshit about taxes. And that's the employer. You give it to them and they are to file that form exactly how they do a W-4. Don't do nothing different than all the other W-4s, Mr. and Mrs. New Job motherfucker I'm working for. How you filed every W-4 in the past for every other employee you ever had, you filed this W-8 in the same way. Don't change nothing. Do it the exact same way. And like I said, if they got some bullshit about it, you give them the instructions, which I don't have it on here. This is just the actual form. You pull up the instructions and let me show y'all how to do that. Let me go back. You see, I got on the Google screen right here, say W-8BEN, right? Now look at the first two hits that they give you. It's the fucking IRS's website. So don't let nobody give you no bullshit. Because I go to the horse's mouth. I go to the source. Don't let these gurus on motherfucking YouTube that's charging you all this fucking money give you a bunch of bullshit. If you put this document number into the fucking Google and the first couple of hits you get is the IRS and you click on that, this is the IRS's website. You listen to them. You don't listen to them fucking gurus that's charging you all this fucking money. They're charging you all this money because this shit is easy. So now from here, see right here where it say instructions for form W-8BEN. We're just gonna click on it. And here's the instructions down here. If you scroll down a little bit, it tells you basically what is supposed to be going on. Okay. And I'm trying to get to the part to where it tells you to not send it in yourself. Okay. Okay, so right here, it say you must give form W-8BEN to the withholding agent or payer if you are a non-resident alien who is the beneficiary only of the amount subjected to withholding. See what I'm saying? Now, does it say right here not to send it to them? Because there's a part in here where they tell you don't send that shit to them. You, personally, the motherfucker that's going to get the job, you don't send it to them. Damn. Ugh. Well, you know what? This is going to be some homework for y'all. Y'all read this shit yourself. Because it tells you this. to not send it to them yourself. Damn. But yes, this is important to read. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna sit here and read all this shit. Fuck that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I told y'all where to go. You feel me? You can't get mad at me, man. How many of them motherfucking gurus on YouTube is telling you, man, you supposed to fill out a motherfucking W-A-B-E-N? You know what I'm saying? And you can also draft up a little motherfucking declaration to give to the company for their own personal records. You know, just a little document. And if you want to have it done by a notary, you can. I typically don't when it come down to that kind of shit. Not everything I get notarized. Some shit I just put a thumbprint on it. I got one of them ink stamp pads. You know, you take a stamper and you stamp it on the pad and then you stamp it on the paper and shit. I got the pad. Well, I got a wolf stamper too. You know what I'm saying? Where I stamp the pad and I stamp paper and it look like a wolf. I got one of them too. But when it come down to me doing my signature, I just hit my thumb on that ink pad and I put it right across my signature. You feel me? Sometimes I put a thumbprint across my signature and I call it a fucking day. And the ink pad I got is red too. So it's going to be a red thumbprint, which means or signifies that it's a blood signature. You know what I'm saying? Because if you actually cut your finger and use a fingerprint that way, you know, with your real blood, chances are a motherfucker treat you like a biohazard. They won't go near it. Okay. But again, like how I said, it does tell you, matter of fact, let me go back to the other one. Maybe it says it on the actual form. Because I do so much reading that sometimes I forget where the fuck I be seeing shit at. Let me see if it comes. Let me see if it tells you on here. Because like I said, it actually tells you this. Damn, I'm looking, y'all. My bad. But anyway, fuck that, man. Y'all read it yourself. You know what I'm saying? Read. This is the actual document. What I'm doing is so you understand. The second hit that you see right here from the IRS, that second one, that's where just the form is at. See how I clicked on it, say open with Drive or download? I don't want to download. I already got it. But this is just the actual form because, see, you need to have this form and you need to have it filled out the day of orientation. So like I said, when they give you that packet, you know, that you got to fill out all these forms and shit for, when you get to the W-4 one, you just take that motherfucker out and slide this one in its place. Why? Because for one, you ain't paying taxes. You're the beneficiary. And number two, they have to file this form in the same way that they would do the W-4. So the fucking IRS know that you're not in their tax club. You see what I'm saying? So that's it. It's that simple. Now, when you go back out to Google, the first hit that you see right here, because you see the first hit is right under the search bar that say WABEN. The first hit is going to take you to the actual website for just this particular document too, which is another thing. If you type in just the form number of that document, when you click enter, it's going to take you to just that particular form. They won't give you the list of all of them. Why is that so important? Because it could be fucking confusing. Sometimes like, damn, okay, what the fuck? Because trying to navigate through the IRS's website can be confusing. They do it that way on fucking purpose. Hoping and praying to God you give up, throw your hands up and just say, fuck it. So right down here, it say more forms and information. So it's a current revision. They always give you the current one. If they revised it or whatever, they'll take that one away. And the first one you'll see is the one that's current. Okay. So you got form WABEN. If you click that, it's going to take you to the same download file or open it like how I did with the second hit we did. Okay. But if you click the one below it that say instructions for form WABEN print version, this right here is going to be what you need. Now, when you click the first one which says instructions for form WABEN, when you click that, you see how I bring the drop box down? A motherfucker will be like, well, where's the instructions at? I don't see them. You got to scroll down. Keep scrolling until you see this. See what I mean when I say they set it up? You know what I'm saying? To make it confusing. Here it is. When you come in the form, it'll look just like this. Just like how you see on screen right now. When you click on it, it's going to look just like this. So when you click instructions for form WABEN introductory material, you click it, you see that little drop shit that just came down? You looking like, okay, well, where the fuck is the instructions? The instructions are there. It's just you got to scroll down. They do that shit on purpose. So you can get frustrated and shit and be like, I don't see no fucking instructions. What the fuck is this? You feel me? They do this shit on purpose. And I excuse my profanity, y'all, but y'all know how I am. For the people that subscribe to me, that's, you know, been rocking with me for the last 4 years. Y'all know how I roll. But when you scroll down, they give you everything. It starts off with what's new, and if they changed anything, if they did this, that, and the other, they giving you certain Title 26s like 1446 subsection F, 864 subsection C8. Those are just different subsections under Title 26. They give you everything. They lay all this shit out for you. It might be confusing the way they may word it and all that. Yeah, it should be confusing, but we'll get past that because we know they're doing it on purpose. Even if you got to push back from the table, take a break, sit the phone down, smoke a blunt, drink a glass of Chardonnay, whatever. But don't let the shit fucking frustrate you because they're doing it on purpose. If you know they're doing it on purpose, why the fuck you gonna let them piss you off? Why you gonna give them that energy? But yeah, so here's where you find all your instructions. And yes, it's a lot to read. Yes, guys, I know that. But still, so what? So like I said, if you read this, at some point you will get to the part where they tell you to not give this shit to the IRS yourself. You're supposed to give it to the withholding agent. The withholding agent is always the motherfucker that's gonna take the taxes from you to give to the IRS. Because that's literally what your job do. When you see them deductions on your motherfucking check stub and shit, and you see all of the subtractions and this, that, and the other, and you left with the amount that's on the actual check or the amount that goes directly into your direct deposit bank account, that's because they literally took that money from you. They held it. Instead of giving it all to you, they took a portion out. And they literally send that shit to the IRS. And I want you all to understand they're not required to do this, and the IRS do not pay them for it. They're going to show you how dumb these fucking companies and scary these bitch niggas are in these companies. Okay, so once again, the W8BEN. BEN is short for beneficiary. This is the fucking form that you fill out. I'm going to go through this one more time. If you're already working, you're going to have to fight these people to replace it. Because that initial human resource person, right, they may not know what it is, especially if they're not the actual human resource person. They're more like the assistant. You know what I'm saying? But the further up the chain in the company you go, they know what the fuck this form is and they know what the fuck it's for. And when you give it to them, because down here in this section here, down here in part 2, right under 9, see where it say part 2, claim of tax treaty benefits, and then it say 9 and 10. Right under 9, you see at the bottom, it say, explain the additional conditions in this article or paragraph the beneficiary owner meets to be eligible for the rate of withholding. Because all of this shit's supposed to be 0. It say the beneficiary owner is claiming the provisions on the article and paragraph blank of treaty identified in line 9 to claim blank percentage rate of withholding. Okay, so what you have to understand is you have to put down here that you are a non-resident alien / American national. Because you're not trying to pay. And like I said, you can even attach a declaration, which is something that the company can have on file for their records, letting them know that you're revoking your election. You're terminating it. Yeah, I used to pay taxes, but I don't pay no more. And here's the reason for why. These are the things you're supposed to say to the company if you're already working there, because they'll give you more of a hard time than the motherfucker who just hired you. You see what I'm saying? Or at least this is what everybody else is saying. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I did what I did a little bit different than this at first. But then I discovered that, it's a better way to do it. And then that's when I got into the whole thing about doing the revocation of election and all that other stuff. That's how I got into that. Because I'm letting the top dog know, which now currently is Charles Riddick. I'm letting him know, bro, I see what it is. I don't want to participate in no more. And that's the bottom line. But for like I said, when you go into a brand new job, or if you already working and you like, oh, so this is the shit they own, and you want to do something about it, this is the form you're supposed to use. Okay? I recommend that you use this form and that you also write these people and ask them questions, letting them know what it is you're going to do. Hey, I got questions for you. And because nobody's answered these questions, this is what I'm going to do. Now, this is not legal advice. I'm not trying to give you all legal advice. Okay? You all can do whatever it is that you want to do. The only thing that I am simply telling you is that this is what the IRS is using these forms for. The IRS used this form for people who are the beneficiary to the tax money that's being withheld from a job. That's it. That's all I'm telling you. Now you do whatever you want. Okay? What I recommend is that you do something. And something could be you just stay how you are. That will be an option. So you could do whatever you want, guys. But just understand that this is what they use the W8BEN form for. And these fucking gurus are not going to tell you this. So I am reserving all my rights, and I'm going to make sure I put that down in the video, in the description, that this is not legal advice. But you guys have to understand what we are dealing with. You all have to understand this. You're not supposed to be going along with this shit if they're giving you the option. See, that's the other thing. That's the other reason why I'm saying something. I'm talking to the people who understand that they're not U.S. citizens. Now, if you think it's okay to pay taxes, if you think it's okay to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's and all of this, well, then you do what you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm only talking to people who are like-minded, people that are like me. I'm not soliciting anybody because I'm not getting paid. Typically, when you solicit somebody, you benefit. I'm not benefiting from telling you guys this. I don't want any money. Another thing that'll keep me from being liable with this kind of shit is the fact that I'm not charging people money. I don't have no PayPal account and all this other shit, which is another reason for why you guys have to understand these motherfuckers on YouTube don't just put that kind of shit out. The reason for why they don't put that kind of shit out is because all of this shit you looking at is trademark. What do you mean trademark? This shit. All of this has been patented and trademark. You cannot make money off of somebody else's invention. And somebody invented the IRS. Somebody invented the Department of Treasury. And it wasn't your ass. It wasn't these motherfuckers that's charging money on YouTube. You can't make money off their shit that way without their permission. You cannot do that. You can go to prison for that. And this is the reason for why I don't have no PayPal. This is why I don't have no YouTube, all that fucking shit with the way you can donate and all that. This is the reason why I won't monetize from YouTube and all of that. Because the minute I do that and I start putting this kind of shit out, I can get in trouble for that. I didn't go to the IRS and say, hey man, is it okay if I see how many people want to do this and want to do that and want to fill this out and want to fill that out and, and charge them money for it? I didn't go to them to do that shit. You get in trouble for that. This is the reason why I'm reserving all of my rights. And I'm telling people this is for educational purposes only. If for people who want to understand what Title 26 of the IRC is all about, people who don't understand certain wordings and what certain documents are used for and all this other stuff, those are the only people that I'm talking to. People who are trying to learn what's going on. That's it. Now, what you do with the information is on you. Okay, I've done certain things like with my revocation of election, right? I'm not going to put that on YouTube. I'm not finna screen share that document I sent to them. I'm not going to do it because you need to write your own. And I told a sister that last night. She was like, you got a template for the, what's the name you sent to them? And I was like, no, I just learned the shit that I'm showing y'all, these different codes and titles and shit. I just learned it and then I just put that shit in my own words, based off the shit that I learned. Use your own motherfucking template. There's nothing wrong with you looking at somebody else's template to get an idea, but don't use their template. Make your own shit. I got plenty of templates. I got a lot of templates I can give motherfuckers. The reason for why you never see me screen share a template is because I don't use them other than just for a reference. I do use them, but it's for a reference only to get ideas to what to do. I don't physically use them, meaning take their actual template, put my name on it, and fill in my information in they spots and this, that, and the other and send it to somebody. I don't do that. Not only is that plagiarism, but it's fraud because you took something that somebody else created and you rearranged it to look like it's yours and you sent it off. You perpetrating. Did you get permission to do that shit? You see what I'm saying? This is the reason why y'all ain't, for all of my old heads that's been on my channel for a long time, this is the reason why y'all ain't never seen me screenshot that shit. I got templates for fucking days. Cease and desist orders, all kind of shit. But you ain't never seen me screen share it. Because you should be doing it yourself. Straight up. And this is the shit, like I said, a lot of these motherfucking gurus, they not gonna tell you. Like the fact that The purpose of a form, WABEN, is a form of somebody who understands that they are a beneficiary, meaning that the money you taking from me every week, bi-weekly, or once a month, or however you get paid, I'm actually entitled to that because I'm the beneficiary. I'm entitled to it, and I'm the beneficiary because I'm not within the United States. So you guys have to understand that, man. You know what I mean? You guys have to understand this. Now we're going to look at one more and we're going to get up out of here. This is under 26 CFR. And it's basically just mirroring the same thing that's under 26 USC. So we're going to go to 26 CFR. CFR stands for Code of Federal Regulations. 15, 1 and 2, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. One through 2, my bad. Hold on. God damn it, why ain't come up? What in the hell? Okay, so you see right here, say 26 CFR 15.1-2, revocation of election to deduct. Why in the hell is it not giving me the same information it normally gives? Well, it do say contained within Title 26. Okay. But what this is a good thing. This is what this shows is that you can cross-reference this information from the Code of Federal Regulations back to the United States Code. You know what I'm saying? Meaning where you're going to have an opportunity to see it on both sides of the spectrum. In other words, there's more than one source that got the same information under the federal government. Because as you can see at the top in the search bar, that's a government website. See it? www.govinfo.gov. Anytime you see a .gov, that's their website. It's a government website. That's why I say .gov. Sometimes it'll say .org too, but most of the time it say .gov. Because the GOV part is short for government. That's how you know you fucking with the horse's mouth. You know what I'm saying? Which is where you're supposed to be getting your information from anyway. You know, damn, let me turn this around. I'm sorry. But this is where you're supposed to be getting your information from anyway. You're supposed to be getting it from the horse's mouth. You're not supposed to be listening to these gurus and all this other shit. Talk to the IRS. Call them. You know what I'm saying? I called them the other day to ask them, because it had been a while since I sent my revocation of election, and I told Charles Riddick he had until either before April 15th or on April 15th to respond to me, you know, and I set it out so far apart for like 40 or 45 days because I understand they fucked up with COVID. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that he may not read the letter personally, but somebody within his office or somebody's going to read it. You know what I'm saying? Because I've already got the green card back, certified signature mail receipt stating that they got it. So somebody gonna open it. Some fucking body gonna read it. You know what I'm saying? But I hit them up because it had been a while and shit. And the woman was like, well, you know, I ended up calling getting the collection part of the IRS and shit. And, you know, I was just trying to get through to somebody. And the bitch got a little attitude because I'm on there telling her, well, you know, I'm not a U.S. person, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't lie within the United States. I don't reside and I wasn't born within the United States. I'm a fucking American national. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, she was a little disappointed, you know what I'm saying, because she can't do nothing for me. You know, she like, well, you know, you want me to put in your social security number to see if you owe us anything and blah, blah, blah. No. For what? How the fuck do I owe you if I'm not within your shit? That mean I don't owe you nothing. That's like Sam's Club trying to come after me for membership dues and all this other shit. I ain't a member of Sam's Club. How the fuck you gonna come after me and then this, that, and the third? You feel me? You got to treat the IRS the same way. You got to treat them motherfuckers the exact same way. You got to literally tell them, well, this ain't what this say under Title 26, blah, 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 subsection, blah, blah, blah. It don't say that shit right there. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, well, I've already sent Charles Riddick a revocation of election. I already sent it to him. That's the reason I was calling to see whether or not if he got it or woo-woo. Because she ended up telling me, well, you know, because of COVID or whatever, it could take damn near 90 days for them to respond. Which, you know, I ain't even going to be, I wasn't even tripping on her when she said that shit because you see how everything is going on. Everything is backed up. I ordered some forms from the IRS to go to show you how shit is backed up. I ordered some 1099-A forms. and online, and they send me a postcard like, yeah, nigga, them motherfucking forms is on back order, you know, but don't reorder them, you know what I'm saying? When we get some new ones in, we'll process your order. You know what I'm saying? Because them are free, by the way, if you didn't know that. Some more shit these motherfuckers are not going to tell you. But anyway, I've been on here for a little bit under an hour. I hope I've helped you guys, man, when it come down to this shit. Fair use, right? I reserve all my rights. I'm going to make sure I put that in the description box. By no way am I an attorney. I don't give out legal advice. Okay? I just like to exercise my right to be able to learn and to gather information and give out the information that what I've learned to people who may want to learn the same things that I'm learning. That's it. This is the original Lone Wolf. Much love to y'all. I hope this shit help y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to spaz out, but, you know, I want to see how people do better. This is why sometimes I get on here and I make videos and it seems like I'm cussing motherfuckers out. Because in reality, I am. You know what I'm saying? Because I care. You know, I care, and I'm tired of seeing our people with all this fucking knowledge at their fingertips and they sitting back doing nothing. So yeah, I'm gonna cuss you out. I don't give a fuck who you is, man. I don't give a fuck what you capable of. I don't give a fuck. Because we can do better. And when you know better, you're supposed to do better. This is Original Lone Wolf. Much love to everybody. Peace.